Hello YouTube, welcome to my shop. Today I want to go over at least a few of the new things that I've added recently. So in my last video I cut this guy out. One of my complaints was needed coolant. So I ordered a little bit of this coolant system that just recently got functional. There you go. Leak. Now I can spray messes all over the place. I have several tools, so let me move you over here so you can take a look inside the toolbox. So recently I was getting involved a little bit more in OfferUp and keeping an eye on that site along with Craigslist. And I had noticed on OfferUp there was a machinist. His basic story was that he'd gotten promoted to manager. He wasn't really doing any machining anymore. He was getting rid of most all of his tools, and he had a pretty nice set. I also got from another guy who had a bunch of things up, and kind of lowballed him a little bit. And he also had a really nice set from an older gentleman that had passed some time ago, I guess. He had picked it all up from a estate auction or something. I'm not sure the details, but he said he had it for quite some time, but he was more of a woodworker guy. He was a general handyman, seemed to have his own little handyman store or handyman service, and he was just unloading all of this. So between the two of them, so got me a nice Starrett combo square with the center finder. I didn't have a center finder and I really kind of needed one, so that turned out really well. Nice full set of Starrett parallels. The big one. That guy slides. Yeah, I don't know if you can see how they're nice Starrett. I got so this is my old drill index of random drills that I'd found. I kind of somewhat organized them. They were close to the right sizes. They weren't lettered or anything. They're just general drills. Got these two sets. A to Z was missing one, and I happen to have it A. So now it's complete. And actually, I didn't happen to have that. I found it somewhere else in one of the tubs that I'd purchased. All this stuff was just in tubs and numbered. I think, yeah, some of the smaller ones are missing. They probably broke off. And I'd actually found a few of those in the tubs too and backfilled them. But they're nice Hoyt high-speed steel drills. This was in there. This is more, what was upside down? Starrett punch set. I could probably use some cleanup. I was never good at this in kindergarten. All right. And yeah, that was a Starrett label. I've gotten two of these, the nice older ones, and two of the smaller ones, which I'd really kind of needed sets of those. That older, I think this is just an import. It says it's a union tool. But I don't know. This was in a box of stuff that I got with the mill. So. Got a nice Starrett V-Block Toolmakers. Jack something there's the original owner. Nice Starrett machinist jack. The older case hardened versions, you know, with the nice texture to it, or the nice coloring to it. Little baby ball peen hammer, that was just in some random stuff. Let me see, so this is the toolbox that I showed on my last new acquisitions. This is all high-speed steel that I'd purchased. This was actually from the retiring person that was getting rid of a bunch of high-speed steel. This nice Rex 95. Most of it has a little bit of some of it has a little bit of grind on it. I think at least 2 of these were brand new. This one I think I got somewhere else. That's a Momax. And then these are just Chinese imports. They were marked wrong on Amazon. They said ½ inch, but they're actually 5/8 by 3/4. I probably could have sent them back. Didn't feel like it. I figured I'd hold on to them. Who knows? I might need it. Could grind something out of them. Also got quite a few of these smaller pieces, including this nice, cute little carbide threading one. It's already cut to the right size. It's a nice little thin ground off piece. Not really sure what he was used for, but interesting at least. Looks like a little cut off. And just some more random high-speed steel with different grinds on it in different sizes. And a little magnet grabber. So that's what I got in that drawer. You see in here, not much new. I did end up with 2 more of these the little tiny last word indicators in cases and everything. That's nice. I've got actually 2 in boxes and then 2 not in boxes. There's this one here and then another one I'll show a little bit later. Got my 17th edition. Over here I've got my thread wires I've already had. Got I guess it's a thread gauge for Acme threads. And then a threading tool for setting the cross slide to the 29 degrees. This one says 29 degrees on it. Fishtail, some feeler gauges. One of these I had. Yeah, I think this one I had. It's a no name, and then this one's a new one. I think this one's a Starrett. Yeah, Starrett company. Whole bunch of other just random parts, pieces. I think this is a radius gauge. There's some corner gauges, drill bit sharpening gauges, and more corner radius gauges. Those, if I ever needed to match something, you know, at least I'd have the tools to do it. And then a bunch of little different rulers and stuff. A standard tool company drill. So most of that was new. I think everything in this drawer I've had. I think there was a couple of center drills, and these are just cheap Chinese center drills. Here, let me see, I had these squares. This square was in one of the new lots. It's a Starrett. Pin vices. So I have these. I don't know what a really good use is for them. I've never seen anybody use them. I mean, I kind of understand that you can clamp something in it and do something with it, but I'm not sure when I would use that. But I do have some now. Transfer punches. Anybody that watches Mr. Pete, he loves these things. These are the ones you can screw into threaded holes and then transfer the hole pattern onto another plate so you can drill. And of course, pretty much a full set of those for standard sizes. See, in here, ended up with 2 depth gauges that I don't really need. I had 2 already. I think I got one in my big toolbox, and then I had this one here. I think it's a Starrett in my big toolbox, and I think this is a Lufkin. And it's the only one that doesn't have a box. I did get, this one's a Lufkin that's faded, and they're covered with some anti-rust. Bore gauges, and then the small hole gauges, these are Starretts. And then these I've had for a little while. I don't remember what these ones were. They might be Starrett. It's too dark over here, I can't really see, but maybe you can see them. General purpose tools that I needed. I had this guy, he's been ground on. I think he was made for a thread comparator. It's a little stiff. I might throw some oil on it and see if I can get it to work any better. But it was covered in rust. I derusted it. So I can give that a try, see if I can bring that guy back to life, make him useful. Little vernier calipers. Ouch. These things are horrible. That thing has got me every single time I pick these things up. I think I'd learn. I think I got a spot right there from it too. But yeah, how are you supposed to hold these and open it? That thing is a sharp. Alright, anyway. These had a pretty bad rust on it. I don't know if you can still see it or not. But right in here, it's pitted a little bit. Kind of sucks that, you know, they're antique tools by now. But, you know, I derusted it and kind of oiled it a little bit to see if I can bring it back to life. More high-speed steel that this had actually picked up. I'd ordered it on eBay. It's just M42, or not eBay. I ordered it on Amazon. And while I was waiting for this, that's when this stuff came up, whereas these were $60 or $70 for all 5. The guy sold me these for like $2 a piece, so that was kind of nice. I think I've already shown that. I've had that for a little while. In here, just some random pin gauges that were around, so at least I have some reference material. Here there's some more angle blocks. I think these are just imports, but they'll still hold work. I like to go for the American made as much as I can, but I'm not too proud to use an import when I don't have anything else. So I think that's everything here that's new. So I picked up this guy's gonna be my end mill holder. I got a bunch of these corner rounding end mills. there, there, and there. Pretty good set. These are my older hogging end mills, older stuff that I just put in here. So I haven't actually moved into here too much yet. Just I threw some of my new stuff and some of the stuff I was using. Some chamfer end mills. So this will be my new storage for all my end mills. I got a label maker. I'm going to put labels on it and get sort of the general size so I can find end mills a little bit easier. So a new addition to here, I actually got myself a nice Machinist Precision level. It is an import, or at least there's no name on it anywhere. But it's the first time I've had a chance to actually level my lathe for real. The other level I have was just a smaller Craftsman. It was a Machinist level, but wasn't very accurate. This guy seems to work really well. But I've found that my lathe is just slightly twisted. No matter what I do for adjusting the feet, I can't seem to get it untwisted. So I'm hoping I've got just enough pressure that it'll slowly twist back. I also was able to get these little parallels. They were in one of the groups of stuff that I'd gotten. So this Logan lathe actually has an MT3 taper in here, and I had ordered a set of MT3 cullets that I'll be able to use in the lathe for any time I'm working on the smaller type stuff. I need to make a little drawbar, and of course the MT3s, you know, they're not through. You can't put stuff in very deep, so there's only a certain amount of use to them, but they were on Amazon. Another thing I got was this nice, it's an import Noga style indicator holder and a nice big 2-inch Starrett indicator with I think it's a full inch of travel. So that should be nice, you know. This should be easy to see. Should be able to pick that up on camera really well when I'm indicating stuff. So over here I've got quite a bit of other stuff. Some of these things are older. I've had this sign plate for a while. This sign vise came in one of the groups. I got a Mitutoyo height gauge. I think this I had in my last video. Got this little height gauge, which was kind of cool. I was able to check out. So this slate top here, I'd never really seen how level it is. You know, it's not precision, so I didn't think it would be super level, but I figured, you know, probably within a couple of thou, but it's actually closer to about 10 thou. If I run this across here, it'll bounce up and down about 10 thou, just kind of wavy. Starrett punch, a few punches, the blocks I've had for a while. Nice old flashlight. Got to get some batteries for it. Telephone, remember the good old days? Yeah, screw you! Can't do that with a cell phone. It's not hooked up, it's just a conversation piece. How many people have actually used a dial phone any time in the last 30 years? Picked up this B-grade blocks. I don't have much for reference, so I needed something just off of Amazon for $50 or $60. At least I have something now that I can use for reference. So this was some paperwork that I'd found, dated '68, and just a short inventory of this previous owner when he was getting a job at some plant. It didn't actually say the name of the company, but I thought that was kind of cool that, you know, this was still there. Was that 50 years? 50 years ago? So I've been kind of organizing these drawers a little bit. Over here I've got mostly paint. Doesn't look organized, but it's actually better than it was. I've at least, you know, kind of consolidated what's in here. Some of the things need to be moved out a little better. But here there was some old stones that were broken, but you know, I think they were just jostled around inside, but they'll still sharpen. So some honing stones, bunch of whatever these are. I'm not actually sure if they're like a round sharpening stone or what, but there was a bunch of them. Including this, which looked to me like it was some kind of marking device, but I couldn't get it to actually mark on anything. So I'm not really sure. If anybody knows, please post, let me know. That's an old cheap stone that I picked up for honing. A couple X-Acto knives that were in there. Most everything else in here I think I'd already had. Yeah, a few little stones and whatnot. I've been taking some time to actually organize all of my tools. I got a lot of random stuff that I've collected over the years. I sure seem to have a lot of hammers. I've been trying to get everything, you know, where it's all visible. Got me a TV that I put in here. I'll probably, I still have to get Wi-Fi piped down here from the house. I've ran the wires, I just haven't put up a access point yet. I've got most all of my woodworking tools are over here. I don't do a lot of woodworking anymore, but I've got, you know, a joiner, I've got the bandsaw, which I use more for metal. I've got a, you know, a little router table, little table saw, little planer, and then along the wall there I got, you know, my welders. The stick welder was actually my father's. That's kind of what I, if you could call it learning, where I welded for the first time on it. I'm a terrible welder. I picked up this Miller, it's a Miller-Matic 175, probably about 10 years ago. And when I bought it, I was like, I want a good enough welder that I can't blame the welder for my bad welds. So while I'm still a crappy welder, I can occasionally get metal to stick together. I at least have a decent welder, so I can blame myself for it. And, you know, just some other general tools. Saw from the Hilltop Machine Works channel. I'll post that up in the corner there. You know, he said he'd really like this book, so I went ahead and ordered one. Now I have one for reference. Should help me out. It's a little easier to read than the Machinery Handbook, which I did end up with a second one of those. An older 15th. (1955) copy, which I was going to see if I can get this to Adam as a giveaway. I know he's been giving a lot of them away lately, so if I can get that to him, then that'll be a 15th edition. Also a little booklet on trig tables. Be nice for using the sign bars and whatnot. Over here I kind of loosely organized the drills. I saw somebody had made these somewhere some YouTube video I was watching. I'm not sure what it was, and I was like, hey, that's a good idea. So I had a bunch of this black ABS pipe, cut them out. Now all the drills are suspended. I used to have them sitting on a shelf here. I was able to move that shelf over here. Now I got a little bit more shelving space. I've got the little bandsaw and Sawzall. Down here I've got a brake, and this is actually an old rotocast machine that I'd made seems like 100 years ago now, and that was for casting helmets. I did a lot of these helmets up here. These were mostly failed jobs. Some of them, like that one up there, is metal. Those two are actually masters. Those are ABS. The one on the end there was rotocast. That one was rotocast. And that one up there was vacuum formed. And that other one's a store-bought. Actually, it's a action figure that I'd used for a costume for my son. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of machining lately. I'd lost my mother 2 weeks ago. And between trying to deal with that and dealing with what was left from that, I haven't had a whole lot of time in the shop. I hope to be able to pick that up again soon. It's really a lot of fun. I really enjoy working in the shop, but it's been a little rough in the last 2 weeks. Hate to bring the mood down, but I just wanted to put out a little dedication to my mother. She'll be missed.